Before you can use a D-Star digital voice repeater correctly with your new ICOM IC7100, you need to enter your call sign into the My Station section on the 7100. Press the DR button to enter DR mode. Press the Set button on pages 2 to 4. Look for My Station and press to access. Press My Call Sign, then press the Quick button. My call sign is already entered, but press the Edit button and you can enter your call sign. Must be letters before the stroke and no gaps. After the stroke you've got 4 characters, so it's up to you what you want to put in there. When you're done, press Enter and press Back. And in the text message you can put whatever you wish. I've got a link to a website for HF QSOs, or you can put your name and locator, name and the type of radio, or in my case I've got DPRS call G1ZRN-9, so when I transmit others will see that on their display. The one that's highlighted is the one you'll transmit, so if I press that one, that is the one that will go out with my transmission. So there we go, press the back arrow and out again, and as soon as I key up I shall be seen on the repeater. Setting the time and date is also important on the 7100 for use with D-Star and other functions. If you press Set and go into page 4 of 4, time set, date time, press date, set your date. Today's date for me 2014 January 15th, Wednesday, so you can access that by either turning the VFO knob, see how the year changes, and then highlight the next one, use the VFO knob again to change the month, and the same with the day. Use the VFO knob to change the day, or you can use the plus or minus arrows. When you've done that, press Set and then Set Time. Set that to your local time. When you've done that, press Set, and that's back to the time set screen. Sort out your UTC offset. If you're outside the UK you may need to add or subtract an hour. Clock display, I've got mine set to local, but you can have it in UTC if you wish. So that's how to set the clock on your 7100. It's also worth leaving the 7100 with power. Don't have to have it on, but as long as power to the radio, it'll charge up the small battery inside the radio, and that'll help maintain your clock. Most D-Star repeaters have a strict 3-minute timeout, and will cut you off without any warning. So you'll be cut off locally via RF and through the gateway. And no one else can use the repeater until you stop transmitting to set your timeout to 3 minutes. Press Z. Excuse me. Scroll to Function on pages 3 or 4. Press the Function button. Press Timeout Timer. I've already set mine to 3 minutes. Press 3 minutes and that's it. And press the Set button to get back to the main screen. You've got your 7100 set up with your call sign, and you've set the clock and you've set the timeout timer. If you haven't seen my previous videos, you will obviously want to use your local repeater. My case is Bewdley, which is Golf Bravo 7 Whiskey Fox. It's a 70cm repeater, so that's band B. C is for 2 meters, A is for 23 centimeters. So we'll concentrate on my local repeater, which is on band B, which is 70 centimeters. Now, in order to use it, what you can do is your local repeater may be somewhere else. This example is for UK only, but other countries can adapt. So what you do is press the From section. If you've got the GPS set up, you can use a near repeater and it will set up the repeater for you and put it in order. But if you haven't, press the repeater list, go to United Kingdom and then scroll down through the list until you can find your local repeater. It's in call sign order and not name order. So for instance, if I wanted GB7BM, which is in the centre of Birmingham, then I would have to scroll all the way up and find it in the list. It should be there somewhere. There it is. Press that one and away we go. Now there is a signal there, but I've got the volume turned down. Now in order to use the repeater so you can be heard through the gateway and do linking and unlinking, you need to set the to field correctly, and the one you want is as on the display, but I'll show you how to get there. Press that, press it again after you've highlighted it, and that's the folder you need. Ignore local CQ, ignore gateway CQ, press your call sign, and you want use repeater. When that's in there and with your local repeater in the from section, as soon as you key up, you'll get through the repeater, and if it's linked to a reflector, you'll be heard by other stations on the reflector. Right, now that you can access your local repeater, you may want to link or unlink it to other reflectors or possibly to other repeaters. I've got the volume down because the microphone on the mobile phone camera seems to be a bit too sensitive. But if we just concentrate on a text message that will appear from the repeater rather than any audio. So firstly you'd select your local repeater. I can do that, and that's GB7WF, which is about 3 miles to the northwest of my location. The to field, press that so it's highlighted, press it again, and then again you only want your call sign folder, so press that, and then you can scroll down through your list. My list is slightly out of order because I've customized it so my sort of regularly used reflectors are at the top of the list rather than further down. We'll link it to reflector 30 Charlie, which is usually covers the southeast of the United States. So we press that. Now what we'd have to do is get the microphone, and I don't know if I can get that in, and just press one of the PTT and then we get a link message, and we also get the audio. Hopefully you heard that without it being distorted. Now in order to use the repeater and get heard via stations also connected to 30 Charlie, you would have to go back to use repeater. So back to your call sign and scroll back up top of the list, use repeater. That puts the code CQ, CQ, CQ in your transmit. What that does is it tells the repeater that you just want to make a general CQ call. In the linking to the reflector, you would see, if we go back to it, REF030CL. The L always is the linking letter. That's always in the 8th position. The characters preceding that are the actual target. But if I pressed the PTT now, GB7WF would reply back to me already linked. So this is why you have to go back to use repeater and set the CQ code again for general use. If you finished on the reflector, in our case GB7WF at Bewdley will default back to our default reflector, which is the Midland DCS reflector on number 5, but you can go into your call sign again and select unlink repeater, a quick transmission with a call, and you see the U went up to the repeater. You get the text message, you get the audio announcement saying not linked, and the repeater is now clear for anybody else to use it. And after you've unlinked your local repeater from the remote reflector, don't forget to reset your to field to CQ, 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 which is the use the repeater. So you press the to field, your call sign, use repeater. Otherwise, if you keep transmitting the unlink command, all you'll get from the repeater is already linked messages, and you won't be heard through any gateway. Well, as we know that 7100s, most of them in most regions come with a pre-installed repeater list. Some of those details may be out of date, some may need changing, deleting or editing. So what I'll do now is show you how to do that. The first thing is, and the very important thing is, that whatever you want to edit, whether it's the in the to field or whether it's in the from field, it cannot be in use. Use repeater in the to field is currently in use. The Antrim gateway, which is simplex gateway on 2 meters in Northern Ireland, is currently in my from field, so that's classed as in use, but that is the one we want to edit. Had an email from the operator of that gateway the other day saying that his frequency had been changed when he renewed his license, so we need to move that from 144.86250 to 144.850. Now if you try and edit it with it in use in the from field, the radio just won't let you do it. What you need to do first is deselect it. So what we'll do is we'll go into the from field, go to our repeater list, United Kingdom in this case. The Antrim gateway is the one that's currently in use, so we'll select the Peterborough one. It just happens to be next to the list. Doesn't matter which one you select as long as it's not the one that you want to edit. Right, so now we go back into the repeater list, and this time the Antrim one is the one we want to edit, but we do not touch the screen at this point. What you do is rotate the VFO knob until it is highlighted. Now you can press the quick button and you press edit, and there's all the details available for you to edit. Name is OK, subname, which is the regions for the UK, or in that case Northern Ireland, call sign, gateway call sign, group, use from, all those remain the same. What we're going to do is change the frequency. So we'll press frequency, enter the new one. Actually we'll just enter the new one, 144.850, enter, and nothing else is changing. The duplex plus, even though it's a simplex frequency, the D-Star system in the ICOM radios will only transmit the correct information when it comes to gateway use if you've got the duplex enabled. But because it's an simplex frequency, obviously your offset frequency will be 0. If it was a repeater with a separate input and output frequency, obviously the offset frequency would be say 9 MHz, as in the case of many UK D-Star repeaters on 70 centimeters. Most of the outputs are on 439 MHz with the inputs on 430 MHz, so the offset frequency would be 9 MHz. So we're not going to touch that. Position, latitude, longitude, all the other details are the same, so we'll leave those alone for now, and then we'll just press overwrite. And there we go. Now back to the repeater list. So we'll now select the Antrim gateway, and there we are, the new frequency 144.850, and it's ready to go. Just to recap, if I did try and edit it when it's in use, so there's the Antrim gateway. It was in my from field in the from section on the DR operating screen. So if I press the quick button and I'll press edit, you have to be quick because it flashes back to the list. It says memory is used in DR mode, so it won't let you do it. You have to deselect it first before you can edit it. And exactly the same with the to field. If you wanted to change the use repeater or anything else, you have to deselect it first. For instance, let's say use repeater is in use, but I wanted to change repeater status, so I don't touch it on the screen now. Rotate the VFO knob so it's highlighted, press the quick button, press the edit button, and there's all the details ready to be changed.